talk about how I saved $200,000 on our new home purchase and 10 things that you need to do and not do when it comes to buying a home in 2024. We're going to be diving into this episode of the Happy Hustle Podcast. Do you want blissful balance in your personal and professional life? Great. What's up, guys? My name is Cary and I want to help you happy hustle a life you love, one full of passion, purpose, and positive impact. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur, a professional model / actor, a digital marketing specialist, a podcast host, author, a biohacker, an eco warrior, a martial artist, a hippie cowboy, and a humanitarian. My goal is to educate, inspire, and entertain you to live a life of passion, purpose, and positive impact. It is time to happy hustle your dream reality. This is how I saved $200,000 on my new home purchase in 2024, and 10 things that you should potentially do and 10 things you shouldn't potentially do when buying a home in 2024 or 2025. What's up, y'all? My name is Cary and I am not a real estate guru, but I did just buy a new house and I got some lessons to share. I am a lifestyle entrepreneur and author and founder of The Happy Hustle. Actually, now I can say I'm a USA Today best-selling author, as our book recently hit number 39 as a national bestseller. And I'm so grateful and humbled to be bringing to you this message on home ownership and this new home purchase that my wife and I recently made, this beautiful farmhouse in Montana. It really is stunning, and it's I got to say, one of the best things that's happened to our family, especially we have a young child, Kaizen, little 1-year-old. It's so cool to have this next chapter started. And I want that for you. I want that in your new home or your next home or your first home purchase. And I want to share with you some of the things I learned. And I also want to share with you how I saved $200,000 on this home purchase. So stick around to the end. All right. First and foremost, we're going to just rattle off the list of things I learned and the 10 things potentially you want to do and 10 things that you don't want to do. Okay. So hopefully this is valuable to you. Number one, you got to secure your financing, get a pre-approval. If you're going to go through a bank, amazing. If not, then you can try the old Pace Morby method. Check out, his stuff. He has an amazing YouTube channel, but he buys homes with no money down, typically no credit check, no bank loans. And he does seller financing deals, which I learned a ton about. I had 2 seller financing deals on the table prior to going traditional with the conventional loan. However, that is something, if you want to attempt to buy a home through the seller holding the note, not going through the bank, I highly recommend checking out his stuff. Shout out to him. But if you are going to go traditional, get pre-approved. Make sure that you have that letter and you secure the financing. Okay. Number 2, maybe check into, getting a realtor. If you want to, go through that process and have them send you MLS listings. I initially started off not going through a realtor for this home purchase, and it was a lot more work. Realtors, that's their job. And at least ours, shout out to Sue, she earned it. She went through 3 contracts that fell through. Poor her. It really drug out. But nonetheless, get an awesome realtor and make sure that you pick one that knows the area, that has ties to a bigger company and plenty of resources. And that's a go-getter. You could also look into hiring a real estate attorney, because sometimes real estate contracts will be very confusing and long, and it's nice to have a pro review it. Okay. Number 3 is you want to lock in your interest rate based on, the current status. Right now, as I'm recording this, rates just dropped, according to the Fed, by 50 basis points, which means that you would think the mortgage rates would drop, but technically they fluctuate so much. And apparently this last rate drop had 50 basis points baked in from our mortgage company. And so it didn't really affect our rate. We got one in the sixes, 6%, not great, but shout out to all those people who got them in the high twos and high threes, 3% interest rates. Those are great rates. So if you can lock in your rate low, if not, you'll have to refinance. What they say is you date the rate, you marry the house. And again, I'm not a real estate expert. This is just my knowledge. I'm reporting to you what I've learned through this process of buying our new home in 2024 and 2025, because as this climate changes drastically with the election coming up, with World War III imminent apparently, and a bunch of other factors with our global economy, we need to consider new information for these new times. Number 4, you want to review the closing disclosures. So, like as they say, the devil is in the details. The closing disclosure is packed with them, and a lot of fees are in there. One of the things, like the appraisal was supposed to be $750, and they put in there $1,000, and I was like, whoa, this is an extra $250 that you told me is one thing, but it's actually another. So they took that off. So you want to make sure you understand every fee, every charge, and all those different points. Number 5, you need to make sure that you do a home inspection. We really value our home inspection through BBI. Shout out to Jason, because he did a lot of due diligence on the front end and was very thorough. You want your home inspector to be really working in your best interests. So you want to make sure they're reputable and that they do the job, to the best degree. Pro tip here is actually be at the inspection and ask questions and be pointing stuff out and really go through with them. And that way you're not walking into a trap. So 2 of the contracts that we were under, a beautiful 20-acre property, had a shop and a nice house, nothing special, but we were more buying it for the land. It had a wall that was built into the mountain or the hillside, and moisture got in, and it caused a bunch of black mold and the Stachybotrys mold, which is really deathly. It can be deathly. It can be a very negative factor in your life if you are especially sensitive to mold, which I grew up moving 24 times before the age of 18 because my mom was very allergic to mold. And so I am very well versed in mold and how negative it can be for your family. So when we found out there was a lot of mold, obviously we canceled the contract, and that was because of the inspection. And shout out to Ryan at Test My Home. You guys got to check him out. He's part of the Happy Elsa Club. But if you want to get high quality mold tests, water tests, chemical tests, he has a whole home testing kit that we went through. And that's a huge pro tip here, is not only go through a home inspection, but go through and get your own testing done too for mold and water and radon. One of the other homes had radon, and radon can kill you at high amounts. It leaks naturally from the ground, but you want it to be contained with vapor barriers and whatnot. So I say all this is related to Happy Hustling, because in Happy Hustling terms, you need to be systematically harmonized in your life, both personally and professionally. And personally, if you don't have a home that's healthy, you're not going to be having the energy you need to crush it personally or professionally. All right, so those are 5 things out the gates that you want to really make sure that you do. Again, get a pre-approval, secure that financing, hire a real estate attorney and realtor, lock in your interest rates, review the closing disclosures, and get a solid home inspection. All right. Now let's keep going. These are 5 things that you definitely don't want to do. And I'll go back to, I'll kind of teeter-totter between 5 things that you do and don't, and we'll get to 20 things total. Number 1 for things you don't want to do is don't make major financial changes when you are going through this home loan process and securing financing. If you buy a new car or a bunch of furniture or whatever, you will potentially lose your financing. You'll get a worse credit score, which will then, unfortunately drop or increase your mortgage rate. So it can jeopardize your approval totally as well. Number 2, you don't want to skip the final walkthrough. We had to do it virtually because we were out of town, but don't skip the final walkthrough, because the final walkthrough, once you have all the paperwork together, when you're buying your home, you need to check and make sure there's any other issues. You know, there's something to be said about negotiating these issues through this inspection period. And if you do have, let's say, a roof leak through that inspection period, well, that would be on the seller's responsibility to take care of it. So it's important to make sure that you know, leverage that inspection period and then do a final walkthrough to make sure everything is as it should be when you are closing. Number 3, avoid delaying the paperwork. I know it's a pain, but you have to just get it done. Don't drag your feet here. There's a lot of DocuSign and e-sign stuff that can expedite it, but yeah, just don't delay your paperwork. Another thing that you want to not delay is your wire transfer. So when you send your money for the down payment, I realized it sometimes can take a couple of days from different banks if you have money in different accounts. So you need to make sure that you send it with enough time so you hit your closing date. All right. Number 4, don't overlook title insurance. You know, this title insurance protects you from legal trouble down the road. It's a must, as well as homeowners insurance. You need that too in order to close. So this is stuff, they just rack up the fees and the insurance and all the stuff, but it's part of the game. If you're gonna get a new place, you need to know about this stuff. So that is 5 things that you need to not do when you're buying a new home in 2024, 2025. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Apologies for interrupting your programming, but I have to tell you, the best investment you can make in yourself is one in which helps you acquire skills. You've probably heard people talk about, oh, just invest in yourself and you'll be successful. Yes, that's true to a degree, but you have to invest in skills that will ultimately help you achieve your desired results. And I think one of the best skills one can possess, be it an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, is the sales sword. Really knowing how to sell, utilizing pressure-free persuasion, which will make you more money and more impact. Now, if you want to know how to sell more efficiently and effectively, I just launched a sales course called The Proven Roadmap Process to Selling Millions of Dollars and helping you to increase your conversions, guaranteed. And you can get access to this new sales course that The Happy Hustle is launching at thehappyhustle.com/sales. And if you act fast, you'll get it at the lowest price it'll ever be available, because we are launching it and we want to gain amazing testimonials and social proof to further share this knowledge. So if you act fast, you can get it at the lowest price it'll ever be. That's at thehappyhustle.com/sales. Now let's get back to this episode. All right. So just to recap it, we got, don't make major financial changes when you're going through that loan approval process. Don't skip the final walkthrough, avoid delaying the paperwork, and then don't overlook the title insurance and the homeowner's insurance. And just one other thing here is, don't forget to budget for closing costs, because closing costs for us was upwards of 10 plus grand. So you got to budget that in. You know, it can be somewhere between 2 and 5% of the loan amount. So you want to make sure that you got cash ready for those costs, so it's not a surprise. All right. So we got right now 5 things that you should do, 5 things that just shouldn't necessarily let slip through the cracks. And this is all based on getting a new home in 2024 or 2025. Now, I want to get into a couple other pro tips for things that you need to do in 2024, 2025 when you are buying a house. And number 6 in this list, I hope this doesn't confuse you going back and forth, but these are things you need to do, which is watch interest rates closely. This is something I was doing. I was watching YouTube videos. I was reading up on, documents online, but the interest rates fluctuate a lot. And, a percentage point on your mortgage interest rate can mean the difference of hundreds of dollars, sometimes even thousands of dollars a month, based on a 30-year fixed loan. So avoid paying extra over the life of your loan, and really, be watching those interest rates closely. That's number 6. Number 7, leverage AI tools properly for analysis. This is one that, you might not have thought of, but you can use AI driven tools like automated valuation models, AVMs, to assess a property's fair market value, future growth, and potential hidden risks. There's tools that provide real time data to help you make more informed decisions in a competitive market. So, AI is here, it's part of the future and the present, and we need to take advantage of it. Number 8, focus on energy efficient and smart home features. This is something that will save you a lot of money in the long run, but energy efficient appliances, smart technology, they're more increasingly desirable than ever. And you want to look for homes with solar panels, energy efficient windows, smart thermostats to save you on utilities and to ultimately boost your home's value. Fortunately, our house had a bunch of upgrades. We're talking like, basically it was like a new house. The sellers put a ton of money into it. They thought it was going to be their forever home, but they ended up wanting to move closer to their in-laws, which were in the same city. So we got kind of lucky getting all these upgrades. But yeah, this is something that you want to think about, these energy efficient smart home features. Number 9, understand your local market, right? Every real estate market is different in 2024, especially going into 2025 based on the election. You got to know your local market, including neighborhood growth, property value projections, zoning changes. All this stuff matters. This helps you avoid overpaying and gives you leverage during negotiations. And then number 10 of things you need to do is home affordability over maximum budget, right? Like, don't stretch your budget to the max just because you want to qualify for a home or a higher loan, etc. Prioritize affordability and leave room for emergencies, rising insurance premiums, unexpected expenses that could affect your financial security in the long run. So these are, an additional 10 or 5 things that you should do. We'll go through the whole list of things that, 10 tips when you're buying a new home in 2024 and 2025. Okay, from the top, let me recap it. Number 1, you want to get pre-approved and secure financing. Number 2, hire a real estate attorney and or real estate agent. Number 3, make sure you do lock in your interest rates. When they fluctuate a lot, you want to make sure you get a good rate. Number 4, review the closing disclosures. Number 5, get a really good home inspection. And then number 6 is watch rates closely. Number 7, leverage AI tools for proper analysis. Number 8, prioritize home affordability over understand your local market. Number 9, prioritize home affordability over maximum budget. And I know I went out of order, but focus on energy efficient homes and smart features in that home. So those are the 10 things that you want to do when you're buying a new home in this, 2024, 2025 era. Now, let me finish the final list of the 5 things that you shouldn't do. So 10 total, 20, 20, or 10 and 10, excuse me. So this is one thing, we didn't do fully, and it was not shopping around for mortgage rates. So this is number 6 on the things that you don't want to do. Many buyers settle for the first mortgage offer they receive, missing out on better rates. We verbally shopped around, but we didn't actually submit all our paperwork elsewhere. This is something maybe we could have done different and maybe saved. Because even a small difference in the interest rates can actually cost you thousands of dollars over the life of the loan. So you want to get it from at least 3 lenders, compare terms, negotiate for better rates between the 3. Okay. Now, another mistake is skipping the pre-approval process. Some people just start shopping for homes without getting the pre-approval. We did this. We messed up. And yeah, not that it cost us greatly because we didn't really find a home we loved, but you want to make sure you get pre-approved. Sellers won't take you seriously if you don't have pre-approval. So you need to get that before you get your dream home, and you'll be a more prepared buyer. And then you'll understand your budget as well. All right. Now, another one, this would be number 8 on the things not to do. being emotionally attached. Don't be emotionally attached. Falling in love with a home and letting emotions drive you can maybe lead to overpaying or making a bad decision or compromising on important details. This is something that I almost did with one of the contracts. Um, it was kind of crazy, but they mismeasured the square footage. They included the garage in the livable quarters of this beautiful property that had stunning mountain views. And I was like, oh, I love this house. But it's actually a lot more expensive price per square foot because they included the garage, which is a real estate no-no. You don't do that in realtor terms. But this seller's realtor mismeasured the entire home square footage by including the garage, which included like 850 square feet. So I didn't want that to, kill the deal. So I was emotionally attached, and I shouldn't have been, because, it changes everything when you have 850 square foot less of a home. So don't do that. Don't make that mistake. Don't be emotionally attached. Number 9, moving on. You want to make sure when you are buying a home that that you really have the neighborhood verified. This is something my wife found out, that there was a pedophile like 2 miles down the road. And like, this is kind of crazy, but, they're registered as a sex offender on a website. You could look them up. And if they're right down the road and you got kids, like, you don't want to overlook that. That's a mistake that a lot of people make. We almost made it with this one property we're under contract for. And thankfully, my wife did her due diligence. So don't make that mistake. Don't overlook the neighborhood. And a lot of that stuff can negatively affect the purchase price. So you want to make sure that your home is in a great place, because you can never change the location. And then number 10 on things not to do is don't ignore those hidden costs. There's potential stuff like property taxes, maintenance, HOA fees, utilities. Heck, we just moved in this house, and my son Kaizen got stung by a freaking yellow jacket in the temple yesterday. And we just had to have the exterminator out here. And I'm all for coexisting with, nature. But shit, when you mess with my son, you're going to get it. And so there's a hidden cost that I didn't foresee, as an exterminator, coming out. So a lot of this stuff you have to be prepared for. So this is the list of 10 things, that you don't want to do when you're buying a home, or at least to avoid. And I'll go through that full list now. So number 1, don't make major financial changes. Number 2, don't skip the final walkthrough. Number 3, avoid delaying the paperwork. Number 4, don't forget to budget for closing costs. Number 5, don't overlook title insurance and homeowners insurance for that. And then number 6, not shopping around for mortgage rates. Number 7, skipping the pre-approval process. Number 8, being emotionally attached. Number 9, overlooking the neighborhood. And number 10, ignoring the hidden costs. Now, I told you I was going to share with you how we saved $200,000 on our new house. And I'm going to tell you that now. The answer is patience, my friend. Patience is how you save money and how we save money, at least in this regard. We put our offer in, we lowballed the sellers, and basically they didn't take it for 45 days, but they came around, and we kept peppering them through our realtor. We sent them like kind of, they call it a love letter, where you basically, just introduce yourself via PDF, email, or letter, saying why this house is important to you. And we just kept on them. You said, hey, you guys want to come around to our offer? You want to come around to our offer? And finally they did. So it was pretty cool. And I'm so grateful to God and to the sellers, and just for life, because it is such a blessing. This home is beautiful. I'm so grateful. And I hope this helped you. So here's some things I learned, 10 things, that are really important to do when you want to buy your new home in 2024, 2025, and then 10 things you want to avoid, because heck, we can all learn from other people's mistakes. And that's why I'm doing this. So I hope this was valuable. Again, I'm not a real estate guru. I don't claim to be. I'm just reporting back my experience some of the things I've learned. And yeah, I hope this was valuable for you. All right, y'all. That's it. Peace and love, everybody. I'm out. God bless.